Alright, so listen, I've played my fair share of Stardew Valley, but that was over 4 years ago. So why not make a 100-day series where I am reacting and learning all about the new updates that I didn't get a chance to experience. I want to add some goals to the challenge though. I want to complete the community center. I want to make 1 million golds. I want to max out my player's skills, and I also want to get married. I should mention that I'm using a few different mods for this playthrough. The UI suit that shows daily luck, birthdays, and the traveling card is really important because I am very forgetful. I am also using a Recolor mod for the world, and I'm using a cat replacement mod. Grab a snack, sit back, get ready to experience Stardew Valley with me. It is day 1, and I start off by clearing a portion of my land for parsnips. I crafted a chest, and I went off to explore. I ran around the whole valley collecting wild seeds and forageables until I saw Shane. I remember I like you a lot. I set off down to the beach where I found my first artifact. This is fantastic because there's a quest that's tied to your first artifact donation. And after we handed in our artifact, we got 250 gold. And what did I do with my new gold? I spent all my money on 45 parsnip seeds. The reason why is because I want to get to level 6 farming to get sprinklers. And I planted and watered all of my parsnips. And hey, we reached level 1 foraging. Not a bad start. On day 2, I started with watering all of my crops. I know I haven't played in 4 years, but I already miss having sprinklers. I chopped enough wood to make another chest for fishing. I found Shane on the bridge and he was really rude to me, but it's just a matter of time before you fall in love with me. I met up with Willie and he gave me his spare rod. I decided to focus my efforts up on the mountain lake with my chest. You see, I want to reach level 5 fishing so I can sell all of my fish for 25% more. I'll keep some fish on me so I can buy the fiberglass rod tomorrow, and our fishing leveled up to level 2. It was raining on day 3, and I was so happy that I didn't have to water my crops. 2 crows decided to snack on my crops, and while that was unlucky, we actually had really good luck for the day. I sold a lot of my fish from yesterday to buy the fiberglass rod along with the trout soup and 83 bait because we are going to be doing a lot of fishing. Not only did we catch a lot of fish, but we actually hooked the Neptune sword. We end the day with fishing leveling to 4. It was sunny on day 4, so back to watering my parsnips. I visited Willie and bought 100 bait from him, and I reached level 5 up in the mountain lake, and this is my haul for the past few days. I swung by the saloon after a hard day's work and I saw Shane there. I could have bought him beer for a loved gift, but I really don't want to encourage his drinking, so I paid more for pizzas. I am shoving pizza in your face. Please, please love me. We reached our level 5 fishing and I went with the angler perk. It was raining on day 5 and I didn't have to water my crops, which was really good timing because day 5 is when the mines open. Before heading up there, my parsnips were ready, so I wanted to gather them all up, but I really wanted to save about 10 parsnips for stamina. I made another chest before entering the mines, where I met Marlin. He warned me the mines are very dangerous and gave me a rusty sword, but we have the Neptune sword, so we don't really need this. And so begins the journey through the mines. We reached level 5, 10, and 15, which considering it was an unlucky day, I was pretty happy with. This was my haul for the day, and then I booked it home. I decided to ship a few things I found in the mines before heading off to sleep, where we reached level 2 farming, level 1 mining, and level 1 combat. Clint greeted me saying he knew I was cave diving. Are you spying on me, Clint? But he did teach me how to make a furnace, so thanks, I think. I forgot a few items in the fishing chest, so I decided to grab them and also throw the rod in for a little bit and fish. And you will never guess what I caught. An iridium band and another diamond. This iridium band is going to be so helpful in the mine because it's giving us light and also magnetism early. I crafted my first furnace and started to smelt my copper. Mayor Lewis stopped me in town and wanted to show me the community center. After getting jump scared by the green jelly monster, I ran out of there and went to Pierre's. Okay, I really hate being poor, so I decided to buy 200 potato seeds and 10 parsnip seeds from Pierre before I took them back to my fields. Prepping the ground and watering all these seeds took me a very long time. Why do I do this to myself? because I hate being poor. On day 7, I actually went into a problem. I had so many seeds to water, but not enough stamina. I head on down into Cindersap Forest, and then I remembered the traveling cart is here. So I decided to go check out their wares, and no red cabbage seed. I gave May Lewis a birthday present before heading over to Clint's to upgrade our pickaxe. After finding enough forageables, I head back to my farm and I start to water all of my crops. I have well over 200 crops. I really had to stop planting so much. I don't stop. At the end of day 7, we reached level 2 foraging and level 6 fishing. It was bright and beautiful on day 8, and I was extremely depressed over this. I had to water 200 crops, but it'll be worth it because at level 6 farming, we unlocked the quality sprinklers. Clint wanted 25 copper ores, and I said sure, and I totally won't forget about this. I do. I had some more goodies for Gunther, so I handed over all of my artifacts to him that we got from fishing. After that, I thought it only took 1 day to get your upgraded tool back from Clint. So I went over there and yep, it takes 2 days, not 1 day. With the mine opening up and me having over 200 crops, I need a lot of stamina. So I decided to go fish for the rest of the day and try to save a lot of the fish. Watering crops became much easier on day 9 from all of our fish yesterday. But before we go up to the mines, I need to get our copper pickaxe. We got really far down to the mines too. I started off on floor 15, and then I got through 20, 25, 30, and 35. Overnight, we were visited by the crop fairy. I wanted to give her a name, so I went with Cassandra. She sprinkled her fairy dust over a few of our crops, and they're gonna be ready to be picked tomorrow. Thanks, Cassandra. I also reached level 2 mining and level 2 combat. On day 10, we got a cat, and I named her Snowball after my cat that I had for 17 years. I still think about her every single day. Thank you for everything, Snowball. A handful of potatoes were ready, so I picked those and went back to water all of my crops. I really want sprinklers. It was also a bad luck day, so instead of going into the mines, I decided to just fish. With all of our fishing for the day, we reached level 7. I started day 11 in the best possible way I can think of, and that is petting Snowball. It was raining today, and that means we didn't have to water our crops. Oh, I'm so happy. I got some mail from the wizard, and he wanted me to go visit him. He somehow knew about the green jelly bean monsters that are being housed in the community center. So you know those green candy monsters? They're called Junimos, and I need to drink whatever is in this cauldron to communicate with them. I don't know if I should trust you. I just met you. Oh, okay. All right, well, I guess I'm gonna drink this thing. And after one nature trip, I can talk to Junimos now. I had some extra money, so I went ahead and bought the first backpack upgrade, along with 16 parsnip seeds, and we're back to being poor. I had a few things for the community center, so after handing what I could in, I ended up completing the first bundle, which was a spring forageable bundle. Today's luck wasn't good, but you know what? I decided to focus on the mine anyway. I crafted 2 more furnaces so I can smelt bars while I make my way down into the mines. Every so often, I would come up and smelt more bars while farming floor 40 for silver ore and dust sprites. After a long day of mining, we reached level 3 in mining. Today was a really big day for a lot of reasons, but first, our potatoes are ready. I harvested all of our potatoes and all of our rice and a few odds and ends, and we reached level 6 farming, which means we can craft sprinklers. The traveling cart is visiting, and I was so excited to go check her out, and only to be disappointed. I didn't let the disappointment hold me back though, and I took myself up to the mines, where it was a good luck day. This was a crazy day for the mines because we made it through level 50, 60, 70, and somehow 80. We reached level 6 in farming, and I decided to go with the tiller perk, combat level to 3, and mining level to 4. It was day 13, and Demetrius was at my door to offer me either a mushroom cave or a fruit bat cave, and I went with the fruit bat cave. And it was also the egg festival, but it wasn't ready yet, so I used the remaining time to cut down some trees, smash some rocks, and get my field ready for all the strawberries. I walked right up to Pierre's shop and I threw my entire wallet at him. He was extremely confused how I had enough money to buy 100 strawberry seeds. The scavenger hunt was a much different story because I forgot a lot of the egg placements. It didn't matter because I got first place. I gave Snowball a kiss on her forehead before heading to bed to dream about how poor I am again. It was day 14 and the traveling cart was visiting the valley once again. And yup, you probably guessed it. She wasn't selling anything that I wanted. I need to get a lot of gold ore in order to craft all the sprinklers we're going to need for the strawberry seeds. You may be wondering why I'm not planting all the strawberry seeds right now. It's because of how late we get them. We can only get 2 harvests of the strawberry seeds anyway. So I decided to focus day 14, 15, and 16, getting enough materials to get all of our sprinklers and then plant them. I also managed to get to floor 95 today, which I wasn't planning on doing, but hey, I'll take it. I was back in the mines on day 15, and I actually reached floor 100, which gave us our first star fruit, and it reminded me of love. I have spent so much time in the mine, but it paid off, because I crafted 20 quality sprinklers. I wanted to reward myself from all the mining I've been doing, so I swung by the saloon. I bought myself some pizzas, and ooh, I saw Shane there, and we got our first friend achievement, and it's with Shane. Oh, I really do like you, Shane. Before I went to bed, I made up a hub area for all my furnaces and chests for the future, and I also tried my best to put all of my 20 sprinklers down. Mining also leveled up to level 5 with all that mining, and I decided to go with the ore perk, and then our combat leveled up as well to level 4. I had a lot to do on day 16, like planting 200 strawberry seeds, but before I did that, I had to give some love to Snowball, fill up her watering dish, and tell her that she is the best girl ever. After that, I collect Robin's axe down in Cindersap Forest because, well, I forgot about it. And I also decided to collect a lot of salmon berries because that's gonna help us out a lot, planting the 200 strawberry seeds. After collecting enough berries, I head on back to my farm and the exciting but dreadful part of planting 200 strawberry seeds has started. So, you remember when I said that 20 sprinklers was enough? Yeah. No, I needed 5 more sprinklers. But lucky for me, I had enough in my storage chest. And after spending all afternoon, evening, and night, we finally got all 200 strawberry seeds planted. On day 17, I opened my farm door to my beautiful field of crops. Look at that. I don't have to water. Oh, I do have to water. I forgot about these. Oh. It's still so much better. But hey, we completed the spring crop bundle, which unlocked the fishing bundles and the boiler room bundles. The boiler room is something I really want to complete because it allows fast travel in the game. I'm going to need a lot of wood for the things I want to do with my farm. So I handed over my axe to Clint, and I spent the rest of the day in the mines before heading off to dream about not being poor. On day 18, I really wanted to start giving out more gifts to everybody, where I got interrupted by Morris being, well, a slimy salesman. Get out of here, Morris. After I handed out a few more gifts, I went up to the mine and completed the Monster Slayer quest, so that's another thing off my list. Down in Cindersap Forest, I got a really emotional scene with Shane that I can relate to in my own way. I'm here for you, Shane. You are seen, you are heard. At the end of day 18, our combat leveled up to 6 and I picked the fighter perk, and mining leveled up to level 6 as well. It was a beautiful day on day 19. I forgot to mention on day 18, I actually went and planted 16 parsnip seeds that I had in my chest. The reason why is I needed 5 gold parsnip seeds for the community bundle. After that, I gathered up as many things as I could and went to the community center, and we completed our first big milestone, because I happened to have everything I needed to complete the boiler room. I spent the rest of the day clearing out my farm with our shiny new bronze axe. We reached level 3 foraging, and the Junimos do their Broadway act. Yas, twirl, spin. It may have been a dark and rainy day on day 20, but it was Shane's birthday. I gave him a pizza in the stormy weather, and he was so happy. I spent some time in the mines diving down to floor 110, and then I finished the day off catching some stuff for the community center, like this eel that was kind of difficult. I woke up feeling so determined to complete the mines since I was so close to get to level 120. I spent all morning and afternoon digging through the mines, but we finally arrived on floor 120. Now that we have the Skull Cavern key, all we need to do is unlock the bus. After a long and hard day in the mines, I swung by the saloon to buy some more pizzas. After having a cute little date night with him at the saloon, I head on home and we reached level 4 foraging. On day 22, I harvested all my parsnips and I got 3 gold quality parsnips. After finishing up on my farm, I traveled down to see Vincent and Jas playing by the sewers. That cannot be safe. I entered Shane's place and ooh, Shane is really going through it. I did the only thing I know how to do. I pull out a large warm pizza and I hand it over to him. It was day 23 and other than collecting my forageables and watering my parsnips, I don't have too much going on. Shane was really laying on the truth for me this morning because, oof, I totally relate to this. Me too, buddy. Me too. I also placed 2 tappers at the bus stop trees because we can get 2 more community bundle items from them. I planted a few more parsnip seeds just in case before heading up to the mountain lake and fishing. Even though it was a bad luck day, we actually caught quite a bit of fish and our fishing leveled to 8. It was the Flower Dance Festival on day 24, but more importantly, our strawberries were ready. All of our hard work with the mines, crafting all of those sprinklers are really gonna pay off. Over at the Flower Dance Festival, I tried to talk to everybody, but I saved Shane for last. I took a deep breath and walked up to Shane. I asked him if he wanted to dance with me, and he said yes! After doing what I think are just jumping jacks and almost stepping on Shane's foot, we danced and giggled the day away. Our farming leveled up to level 8, and look at these strawberry profits, like, oof. We're rolling in the dough now. Aw, I found a really cute letter from Shane on day 25, and it was to make strange buns. Well, I am strange, so thanks, Shane. With all of our strawberry seeds money, I decided to buy the iridium rod and 4 crab pots. Why did I buy the crab pots? I don't know. I don't even end up using them. I asked Robin to craft us a coop and she was excited for the new job. I really want to get some animals and I decided a coop would be probably the way to go. With level 10 fishing in my mind, I spent the rest of the day fishing and selling what I got. At the farm, I started to place down some pathways because I was really tired of looking at all the dirt. My parsnips were ready and we got enough golden parsnips. I visited the traveling cart lady, but as you can guess, no red cabbage seed. My storage chest started to become full with the community center items, so I figured now would be a good time to turn in what I have. The majority of items were fish, but I had some extra things like wood and the 5 golden parsnips. So it just dawned on me that you can get the burglar's ring if you kill 500 dust sprites. So I decided to go back and start slaying some more because I'm going to need a lot of dust sprites. After a full day in the mines, I head back home to snuggle with Snowball, and we reached level 6 combat. Day 27 was pretty calm, but a really good odds and ends day. After going through my chest, I realized I forgot to bring 2 items over to the community center, so I went to go do that. After that, I paid Gunther a visit because I had a lot of items to hand into him. He was very appreciative of it. Most of the day was just me clearing out my farm though. I had a lot of farm to clear, and I was going to make some bombs to do this, but then I realized I really want to get my foraging up, so I'm going to do the old-fashioned way with my tools. Just before I went to bed, I remembered about tree farms, and I built one close to Snowball's area. She's going to love to climb them and scratch on them, but also it is going to give us access to tappers, and I want a lot of tappers. I want to make some kegs, because every time I've played this game, I've never really made kegs. So I want to see how good they are. It was the very last day of spring, and honestly, our farm is starting to look a little bit better with the pathing. I'm pretty happy. But more importantly, our second and final strawberry harvest. Most of the money we make from strawberries are going to be reinvested tomorrow on summer 1st. We're going to be heavily investing to blueberries, and then a few other odds and ends for the community center. It's Sunday, and you know what that means? No, she wasn't selling the red cabbage seed. My coop was also completed, so I went over to Marion's and I bought myself a chicken, and I decided to name it Cluckster. I made a few more sprinklers and I placed them down in preparation for tomorrow. I wanted to treat myself over at Gus's and bought some pepper poppers and some coffee for tomorrow. It is going to be a long day of planting all the new seeds, and I'm going to need all the energy and speed boosts I can get. I placed down some more pathing around my farmhouse and also up to the mountains. At the end of the day, we reached level 9 farming. Ooh, we are so close to a level 10 skill. It was the first day of summer on day 29, and I took to my fields to scythe away all of our old strawberries. This gave us a head start for summer, but we had a lot of work to do. But first, let's go buy some seeds. I went over to Pierre's shop and I bought a lot of seeds, which included 300 blueberries, 32 melons, 16 corns, 1 blueberry, 1 tomato, 1 pepper, 1 poppy, and 1 sunflower. My silver pickaxe was done, so I picked it up from Clint. Back on the farm, I started the long process of planting all of my seeds. We had close to 350 seeds to plant. After an extremely long day of hoeing, planting, and watering all of my crops, I was finally done. It was beautiful and bright out on day 30, and I got to watch all of my beautiful sprinklers do all the work for me, but I actually needed a few more sprinklers. I had to get 7 more. So I took care of the watering and I jumped right back into the mines. I had enough gold and quartz, but I did not have enough silver, so I focused on getting a lot of silver ore, and I was trying to reset a little bit for dust sprites. After a long day in the mine, our mining leveled up to 7. There was an earthquake last night, but that didn't bother Snowball. Look at her sleeping there, so peaceful. And I woke her up. Love you. I had some very troubling mail. Mayor Lewis asked me to find his shorts. Yeah, I don't know. I head to the mine to farm some coal, silver ore, and dust sprites. I made just enough sprinklers to cover all of our new crops, and foraging leveled to 5. Our sprinklers were hard at work on day 32, and I wanted to get some wood with our new forester perk. So I pulled out my trusty axe and I chopped down a lot of my farm. Towards the end of the night, I did some light fishing as well and sold what I could. On day 33, I handed over my pickaxe to upgrade it to gold. I really wanted to have a nice big barn and coop area, so I needed to clear out so much space. While chopping down all the trees, I noticed the traveling cart was here, and I almost forgot to check it. I had an immense fear that I could be missing out on a cabbage seed right now. So I rushed down there right before they closed, and no red cabbage seed, but she was offering battery packs. And I considered buying it, but for some strange reason, I buy the cave roots? I don't know why I did that. I should have bought the battery packs. I did a little bit of mining and dust sprite killing, and I ended the day with level 8 in mining. A lot of new things happened on day 34, but before we get to any of that, it's time to give some love to Cluckster. You are looking mighty cute. Oh, and speaking of new things, Willie had a new cutscene with me. And at first I thought it was just him talking about fishing and how it's getting slow, but then he mentions that he has something in the back and it's an old friend. And then he eerily walks up to the door and, okay, I'm just gonna leave. Yep, have a good day, Willie. I spent the rest of the day fishing and I caught a pufferfish and I also caught a dino egg. This is really rare from what I remember. I am going to have to break the news to Cluckster that their new roommate is going to be a dinosaur. We got a good haul from fishing today, so I sold everything that was not needed for the community bundle, and of course our new dinosaur egg. With all of our fishing, we reached level 9, and also a new recipe, because I do not remember sea foam pudding. It was dark and rainy on day 35, and it was because the traveling cart wasn't selling the red cabbage seed. Thankfully, Shane was nearby, and after handing him a pizza, we were getting so close to 8 hearts. Shane, You will be mine. Speaking of mine, our gold pickaxe is done. I'm coming for you, Skull Cavern. Just after I complete the bus bundle, which requires money and I'm poor. It'll be fine. Over at the community center, I complete the crab pot bundle, the ocean bundle, and the summer foraging bundle. There was a few odds and ends I handed in as well, but I didn't complete any more bundles for the day. It was a dark and dreary day on day 36, and oh, that lightning bolt, that scared me a lot. So much I had to mouse over it. I spent the entire morning chopping down trees, clearing out all the rocks and all the weeds, before heading over to Quince and upgrading our axe to silver. The reason why is that I remembered that I needed to get to the secret woods for a few things for the community center. And then I spent most of the day fishing. You see, after I unlock the Skull Caverns, I probably won't fish as much. So I wanted to get to level 10 fishing before that happens. Our hot pepper, poppy, and sunflowers were all ready on day 37. So that marks off a few more things for the community center. I really wanted to buy a barn from Robin, but it was Tuesday, so that would have to wait. I took myself up to the mines and continued my quest to slay 500 dust sprites. The luau was tomorrow, and I planned on offering my gold surgeon I found over in the mountain lake. Shane was having a really rough morning, and I did what I know best, and you probably guessed it. I handed over a nice warm pizza. Our silver axe was done as well, but this time I remembered to bring all of our geodes because I collected a lot from all of the dust sprites farming. I paid Gunther a visit and handed over our new artifacts to him. With our new silver axe in hand, I went back to my farm and cleared out some of the annoying stumps before I pulled up my bootstraps, put my jacket on, and I went to explore the secret woods. It was very quiet in the woods, but hey, there's a lot of hardwood and I'm going to need a lot of hardwood later on, so I'm gonna try to make it happen and come here almost every day. Since I have the silver axe now, I wanted to chop more wood today, but I was running low on stamina, so I went over to the saloon and I bought a bunch of salads. I went up to the mountain lake and I started chopping down trees where, hi Maru, oh no, oh. I hope you're okay, Maru. I totally didn't chop down a tree on Maru. Oh, she hates me. After a full day of getting as much wood as possible, we reached level 6 in foraging. It is the Luau Festival on day 39. Pierre also sent me a letter mentioning that I can now buy bouquets at his store. I guess me and Shane are at 8 hearts now, so yes. I went ahead and made some of those lightning rods too. It's been a while, but I think you can only get batteries in the summer, so I wanted to save up as many as I could. It was time for the luau, so I took my gold surgeon and I threw it in the pot. After socializing with everyone, the governor was the first person to taste the soup, and oh, he liked it so much he's starting to vibrate. Oh my word. What did we put in the soup? After chowing down and also talking with everybody about the vibrating governor, I made this cute little corner with all of my lightning rods. That way we can keep everything organized. It was a Friday, so I went to go check on the traveling cart, but I actually saw Shane out on the cliff. Shane has a lot of dark but really relatable cutscenes. We had a really deep heart-to-heart conversation before I helped him out over to the clinic. Shane, you have so much potential. I hope you get the help you need. Cut to the montage of me serving pizza. Okay, maybe he needs more than pizza, but still, it's a thought that counts, right? I went back to the forest to check out the traveling cart, and she was selling the red cabbage seeds. Oh, I was so excited when I saw this. Gleaming with excitement, I went up to Robin to ask her to upgrade my coop. With this upgrade, I'll be able to hatch our dino egg. I found an apple in our fruit bat cave, and that's pretty much it for the day. I just kind of lazied about around the farm, organizing stuff here and there. Oh, and I also passed out. Whoopsie. It was another rainy day on day 41, but Shane was at my door, came over to apologize about what happened yesterday. I told him I was really happy that I was there to help him out, and he said he's gonna take things a little bit more seriously. Shane, it's gonna be a long journey, but it's gonna be worth it. Our melons were ready as well, and we have 5 golden melons. That's another thing off the community list. I also went ahead and made our first keg. We've had such a great morning, and I decided to go fish for the remainder of the day. On day 42, our second blueberry harvest was here, and boy, oh boy, did we make a lot of money today. I placed our dino egg in the incubator, and I went over to Shane's house to ask him an extremely important question. I took a deep breath, and I asked him to be my boyfriend. And he said yes! After all of that excitement, I bought my first duck, and I named it Nibbles. Nibbles, I hope you're ready, because you're gonna have a chicken and a dinosaur as a roommate. So, you know, it'll be fine. If I were to make all the kegs, all the buildings, and the upgrades, and upgrade my house, oof, I'm going to need a lot of wood. And with our second blueberry harvest, we reached level 10 farming. I went with the artisan perk because we'll be making a lot of kegs. And here's how much we made from the blueberries. It was another stormy day on day 43, but honestly, it was kind of a short day. I did get 2 more gold corns for the community center, and I swung by Robin's place to ask her to upgrade the house for me. I also had a lot of money in my pockets, so I went over to Pierre's shop and I bought the final bag upgrade. Marnie sent me a letter on day 44 about a new item called the Auto Grabber. Seems like it can milk your cows, goats, shear your sheep, gather eggs, and wow. Technology is really getting advanced here. With our house being upgraded and Shane getting really close to 10 hearts, I'm going to need another rainy day because that's how you get the mermaid pendant, which is how you propose in this game. I was gift giving around town and I encountered a Caroline cutscene. I don't remember Caroline ever having a cutscene like this, so this must be new. With my teacup in hand, she explains to me that this is her sanctuary and she can always find peace here. Yeah, that's really cool, Caroline. What is this? Is that supposed to be her? Is she dancing? Okay, all right. Did I just go on a trip with Caroline? Is this tea? After all of that, she has the nerve to say, I hope it makes sense. No, I'm so confused. And after all of that commotion, I reached level 7 in foraging. The next day, on day 45, Caroline sent me the recipe for tea saplings. I wonder... So she calls these tea saplings. With level 7 foraging, we can now craft tree fertilizer. I crafted 20 of them, and I fertilized my entire tree farm. I wanted to try out the tea sapling recipe, so I decided to plant a lot of my summer seeds I got from the museum. After a long day catching a lot of fish and a few things for the community center, we reached level 10 fishing, and I decided to go with the angler perk. I woke up to all of my blueberries being ripe and harvestable, and we got 902 blueberries. And on the topic about having too much money, I completed the entire Volt bundle, and tomorrow we will have access to the bus, which will allow us to go to the desert. There is a brand new mine over there as well, so I'm super excited to get my hands dirty in that. And I didn't stop there, for you see, I had a lot of things with me. We completed the construction bundle, the summer crops bundle, and a few odds and ends like the poppy, pomegranate, the 5 golden melons, the honey. We were making really good progress over in the community center. I also bought 37 salads that I totally didn't forget to record. I totally did. I wonder how many times I forgot to do something in these 100 days. The Junimos performed their amazing Broadway act to restore the bus, and we got a new achievement of 250k gold. Yas, blueberries. Day 47 was basically just Skull Cavern, although I did stop at Robin's and I bought a few different furniture pieces. After that, I went to the bus stop and slammed my face against the bus and then defended against the bus after I thought it hit me. Listen, I was confused how to enter the bus, okay? And then I realized you go over to this ticket booth and you buy a ticket. It's so easy. I used the Skull Cavern keys to unlock the door, and I've begun my first descent. Now, there's a few things I want to note about this run. First, as you can see, I had really bad luck for the day. I also didn't bring a whole lot of bombs with me, and while I had a lot of salads, I didn't really get too far. Some of the most noteworthy things was finding a rabbit's foot for the community center, and I almost died at 1 HP, which that was fun. But the most interesting part of the day was this dinosaur level. Like, I really don't remember this, but this was incredibly fun to experience. Our combat leveled up to level 7 and mining leveled up to 9. On day 48, I received a mysterious letter from Mr. Key. He challenged me to get to floor 25. I can do that. You were on, mysterious man, or thing. My spring forageables were done as well, so I made some tea leaves and holy Yoba, that is a lot of money. You can make a pretty penny with tea leaves. I went back to the desert because I realized there's a new NPC and a huge camel that I somehow forgot to visit on the first day. Yep, I would do that. What I really love about this trader is that your gold has no value here and he wants you to trade. That is so cool and I will be coming back here, sir. I wanted to descend Skull Cavern so I can complete Mr. Key's challenge, but first, I paid a visit to Clint. I had a lot of geodes that I have not processed yet, so I went ahead and did that, and I handed over my hoe to be upgraded to copper. Plus handed in a lot of our artifacts to Gunther. And then, the challenge was on. I had such a good run, I got to floor 43, and the biggest win is all this iridium. I want to be able to upgrade my pickaxe so I can have an easier time going down into the mines in the future. On day 49, I did a little bit of everything, but I started off my day, I guess receiving 10K from Mr. Key. Hey, Mr. Key, if there's any other challenges you want to do, just hit me up. And hey, look, our red cabbage is finally ready to be picked. That's another thing off the community center list. I paid the community center a visit and I completed the Enchantress bundle and the Quality Crops bundle, while handing in a few different odds and ends too, like the red cabbage, the honey. We're making good progress over in the community center. I paid Gunther another visit at the museum and handed in a few more things, and then I spent the rest of the day trying to find the Dwarven Scrolls since I only had 2 of them and I need all 4 so I could buy some bombs from him. What is this beauty? Look at all those blueberries. Yes, I'm gonna be rich. Okay, not that rich. I have a lot of things to buy still, but temporarily rich. After harvesting over 900 blueberries, yeah, my hands are tired. I swung by Robbins and bought a barn. I still needed a few things for the community center, like some milk, the wool. I also want to buy some pigs too, because I don't know, they're cute. My copper hoe was ready as well, so I picked that up and I gave Clint the next tool, which is my axe. Clint, get to work. Chop chop. I headed off to the mines in my search of all the dwarf scrolls, which I'm missing 2, but we got 1 today. Overnight, we reached level 8 combat and we made a lot from our blueberries. Temporarily rich. I started off day 51 decorating my animal area. I realized I didn't have a fence or even grass starter planted. Ooh, I felt really bad. So I fixed that real quick. And then it was more cave diving, and on a mushroom level, I got the 4th and final scroll. I rushed over to Gunther to hand it in, and he gave me some weird translation guide. With this in our hands, we can now speak and understand Dwarvish. Man, I wish speaking a different language in real life was that easy. You know, I was going to say the dwarf is a little bit weird, but considering I am buying a bunch of bombs from him, I would say I'm the weird one. I wanted to check how many more dust sprites I needed to get the burglar ring, and I'm not too far off. I need a little over 150 more. With that in mind, I farmed for 40 and 45 for all the dust sprites I can find. On day 52, we got a duck feather and a large egg. No, you guys are so good. Thank you so much. My golden axe was ready to be picked up, and I swapped it out with my watering can. The rest of the day was focused on the Skull Cavern mines because we had some pretty good luck today, and I didn't want to waste it. I got down all the way to floor 90, and we got our first 2 prismatic shards. Yeah, 2. I also got a bunch of gold ore, iridium ore. Oh, and I left the mine so late that I passed out in town. Whoopsie. But hey, we reached level 10 mining and I decided to go with the blacksmith profession. Today was going to be an extremely busy day. I took my axe and started to clear out a lot of the trees on my farm. And when it hit 9 o'clock, I went up to Robin's. I wanted to get the last barn upgrade. With this, I would have access to all of the animals. I took a trip to the desert and got myself a galaxy sword with one of the prismatic shards. This used to be an endgame weapon, and I don't know if it is now because of 1.5, but this is a huge upgrade and it's gonna help me out a lot. I then went ahead and completed Jody's quest for the cauliflower, George's quest with the hot pepper, and Demetrius' quest with the melon. I spent the rest of the evening clearing out more of my farm for all the wood, stone, and also thought about some designing ideas too. It might have been dark and gloomy on day 54, but Shane was here and he asked me out on a date. Although, it seems to be sports related, but that's okay, because I'm a big Shane person, and I said yes, and I will be attending. And today marks our final blueberry harvest. After I picked all of them, I went to go into my chicken coop, and ooh, lo and behold, our dinosaur is hatched. I went with the name Reptar. I paid a visit to Clint because our copper watering can was all done. I broke open a few geodes and handed them into Gunther, and then I went up to the community center, completing the dye bundle and the artisan bundle. 2 more bundles down, and I make a final pit stop down to the Old Mariner for the mermaid pendant. With this in my possession, I'll be able to ask Shane to marry me. Once we got to the Tunnelers game, Shane thanked me for being by his side through everything, his anxiety, his depression, and then we shared a deep kiss in front of a lot of people. Hey, this is not for free. Y'all can pay us. After everything we've been through, I pulled out my mermaid's pendant. I waited on the bridge where we first met, and I asked Shane the big question, will you marry me? He said yes! Shane made me the happiest man. I went home and told Snowball the great news before heading off to bed. Gunther came knocking on my door and thanked me for donating over 60 items to the museum. But he also handed me a very suspicious key, an old rusty key, that I totally don't forget to use. It's nearing the end of summer, and I knew I couldn't get too much more money from crops, but I did have a lot of spring forageables. So I pulled out my rocks, my weeds, and I made 55 tea saplings. And after waiting for over an hour at Clint's while knocking on his door every 10 minutes to make sure he knows that I want in, I hand over the money, the bars, and my pickaxe. This is gonna help me out a lot when I go back into the Skull Cavern. Since our barn is fully upgraded, I went to Marnie's to buy some more animals. I first bought a cow named Cream, then a goat named Billy, a sheep named Brad, and a pig named Hampton. Back at the farm, I made a lot of flooring and I took decorating very seriously. I put a bunch of wood down around my crops and my future crops for the fall. I then made a pathway down towards Intercept Forest with stone because I wanted to mix and match different flooring to see if I can make it look good. And I placed down some new scarecrows for the new crops we'll be growing in the fall. It was the final day of summer and the Moonlight Jelly Festival is happening tonight. Ooh, I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite festivals. I started off my day giving love to all of my animals and I made some extra tappers for my tree farm. Mr. Key has another quest, so I brought a battery to this tunnel area and I placed it in the box. The next part of the quest was a rainbow shell, which I had that too. But then I ran into some trouble. He wanted beets and I did not know where to get beets, so that would have to wait. I wanted to make a shed for all of my kegs, but I didn't really have enough money or resources, so I decided to make a cute little keg area. And then it was time for my favorite festival, the Moonlight Jelly Festival. After chatting with everyone, I bought a few different things from Pierre's stall before heading over to Shane to hold his hand and to watch the beautiful and majestic Moonlight Jelly swim in. Here is to the rest of our life, Shane. Overnight, our foraging leveled up to level 8. It was the first day of fall, and also wedding day! Here is to a beautiful life together, and a lot of pizza. Don't worry, I'm gonna buy a lot of pizza for you. I start by siphoning away all of my old crops. We have to plant so many things today, but a lot of the ground is already hoed and all of our sprinklers are down, so it won't be as bad as spring or summer. I needed to buy a lot of seeds, but first I picked up my pickaxe. Then I went off to Pierre's to buy 100 cranberry seeds, 160 pumpkins, 1 eggplant, and 10 wheat seeds. I originally wanted to buy way more cranberry seeds, but I completely forgot how expensive they are. The cranberry seeds are going to be steady income, while the pumpkin seeds will be more long-term income because I'm gonna put them all in kegs. And the wheat and the eggplant are for the community center bundles. I spent the rest of the day planting all of my seeds and watering some of them because all the new tiles that I hoed were not watered. And before I went to bed, I made a mackey roll and a fried egg for the community center. It was day 58, and when I walked into Pelican Town, I saw Lewis and Robin putting up a new request board. After looking at both options, I decided to go the crop order. The problem is, my pumpkins were supposed to be for kegs, so I decided to buy some more pumpkins. I didn't have a whole lot of money left over though, but I did manage to buy 90 pumpkin seeds, which should help out quite a bit. I went back to my farm to plant all 90 pumpkin seeds before venturing off to the Skull Cavern. And let me tell you, this Skull Cavern run is going to be a run that I will never ever forget. I didn't come with a lot of salads or bombs or really much of anything, but what I found was incredible. It was a lucky ring. A lucky ring. At the time, I didn't even know if this ring was good or not, but as of recording this, I am so stoked. I found it in one of those smashable objects in the mines, and this is my findings for the day. Nothing too crazy, but I mean, the lucky ring is pretty lucky. On day 59, I started to clear out this bottom portion of my farm to make room for 2 sheds. Brad was finally starting to produce wool, and that's another thing off the community center list. And on the subject of community center lists, we also catch a tiger trout and a wood skip along with a wall basket. This was really cool, but I was like, I wonder what other gifts you can catch. Shane was up bright and early on day 60 and I guess watered my crops for me, even though we have sprinklers. You know what? It's okay. It's fine. I love you. Thank you for trying. After petting all of my animals, I decided to take what I have over to the community center, handing over the monkey roll and the fried egg, the tiger trout to complete the river fish bundle, and also the wood skip, the wool, and completing the foraging bundle, and that marks another 2 bundles off my list. With my iridium pickaxe, I went back up to the normal mines and I wanted to finish off the dust sprites. On day 61, Reptar produced our very first dinosaur egg, but other than that, I went straight back to the mines, and it took me almost all day to farm 51 dust sprites, but we finally got there. Honestly, the Burglar's Ring is one of the best rings in the entire game, because it essentially re-rolls the monster's loot table twice. Day 62 was focused mainly back at the farm. I made my first mayonnaise and cheese makers, bought some amaranth and wheat, and a few more pumpkin seeds as well. And after that, I spent the entire day redoing my little hub area. On day 63, I made a few cakes, but realized I'm going to need a lot of wood to make all the cakes I want to make. So I traveled on down, cutting all of the trees in Center Subforest, before remembering I still had the rusty key. If you don't know, the rusty key is to unlock the sewer that's in town. Down in the sewer, there's actually a shadow person called Krobus. Krobus is such a cutie though, I love Krobus. But he sells 2 really important things, the starfruit and the scepter. The starfruit can be gotten a lot earlier than the scepter, and the scepter, well, for somebody as poor as me, it'll be a long time before I get that. I went fishing to finish off the day because I was getting really poor from buying all those seeds, and I caught myself a midnight fish. I really don't remember this fish, so it must be something new in the 1.5 update. Our cranberries were done. Oh, I am so happy to see this because I am so poor right now. I know it's gonna pay off, but the beginning of a season, you spend so much money. Our eggplant is done as well, so that's another thing off the community center list. I picked up Robin's project over on the community board, and I gathered as much hardwood as I possibly could. Since it only gives you 7 days to complete this, I have to make sure I don't forget to come here to chop all the hardwood I'm going to need. Oh, it feels so good to see some money rolling in. Tomorrow is the Stardew Valley Fair, which is pretty exciting because I'm pretty sure you can grab a star fruit there. And our cow Cream produced their first large milk. Look, did I try milking both the dinosaur and the sheep? Yes, but you never know until you try, right? I was sick and tired of cutting down trees, so I went to the Skull Caverns and we got decently far. I mean, this is my haul for the day. It's nothing to write home about, but it's okay. I also purchased a bunch of weeds from the trader because I want to make some more tea saplings. On day 66, Shane woke me up in a really sassy way. Honestly, I love him though. Oh, right, here, have a pizza. And to my surprise, he gives me star fruit. I actually forgot spouses do this, so yeah, it's another star fruit. I had a few things saved up for the community center, so we completed the chef's bundle, the specialty fish bundle, and the nighttime fish bundle. We were getting so close to unlocking the greenhouse. I only need a large goat milk and a pumpkin. Overnight, the Junimos repaired or removed. You know, honestly, I'm not sure what is happening here, but the Junimos are doing something to repair something. On day 67, I picked my first batch of pumpkins. After that, I decided to add a chest right by my kegs because I don't want to have to keep walking all the way up and down every time I want to refill my kegs. I was still very confused about last night where I saw the Junimos dancing over here on this bridge and I bumped into Willie. He was also confused why the boulder was removed, but more importantly, I was more confused than him because he handed me a pan. Yes, a frying pan. After that, I ran around my farm for absolutely no reason at all before heading off to bed. We got ourselves a large goat milk, so that's another thing off the community center list. I chopped down some more hardwood for Robin, and then I went to Skull Cavern. I didn't really find too much of Skull Cavern, but I did find a red slime egg, so that's pretty cool. And we reached level 9 combat. I got to pick all of our cranberries on day 69. Nice. I paid Marnie a visit and gave her the amaranth that she asked for. And I also handed in the large goat milk and the pumpkin so we have access to the greenhouse. I paid a trip to Robin's because I finally had enough hardwood to complete her quest. I tried out panning too, and I got 3 copper ores, so that's cool. Overnight, the Junimos restored the greenhouse. Thank you, little guys. Look at those orange pumpkins. They're so beautiful. I am gonna ship a lot of these because of that bulletin board quest, but I'm gonna try to keep a lot of them for the kegs. I made 6 iridium sprinklers for the greenhouse. After putting Demetrius in his place, I got you, Robin, I bought myself a stable. I went back to Pierre's shop and I bought 300 pumpkins. And then I spent the rest of the day planting all my pumpkins and also preparing my greenhouse. Oh, and if you want to see how much money I made from the pumpkins, here you go. It was a lot of money. After shipping all those pumpkins yesterday, we completed this, and oh boy, I am rich. Hello? Shane, we're rich? For now. Shane, don't question me. It's okay, don't worry about it. I make a lot of money and I also spend a lot of money. Here, take this pizza. Okay, have a good day, bye. From shipping all those crops, I was rewarded with a mini shipping bin. That is so cool. Maybe I'll put it in the greenhouse. I picked up Robin's resource rush because it's Robin. I mean, you just help her when you can, right? Right. And I spent the rest of the day clearing up my farm. I woke up on day 72 with Shane letting me know that he bought a table with all of our money. Honestly, it was cute. Good job, Shane, good job. It was the Stardew Valley Fair and I brought myself 4 pumpkins, a truffle, cheese, a prismatic shard, a midnight carp, and a diamond. I spent way too long in this wheel, but eventually I had enough to buy everything at this festival, including the starfruit. With all my items, I got 97 points. First place, baby! We got a horse today on day 73, and I went with the name Spirit. With my new trusty steed, I went to the community center and I completed the fodder bundle. That's another bundle off the list. I chopped down some wood for Robin's quest, and I went back home to redesign my keg area. It was at this point that I realized I should really buy a shed and put the kegs in the shed, so I'll be doing that soon. My foraging reached level 9, so that's cool, we can make a rain totem now. Everyone greeted me on day 74, and she gave me the recipe for a garden pot. I think this is gonna be really helpful, especially if I ever make like a playthrough on the beach farm or something. It was also cranberry day, so I harvested all my cranberries and made a pit stop in my greenhouse, where I smashed 10 pumpkins and I replaced it with beets, which I totally didn't forget to record. I totally did. I bought the starfruit from Krobus, and I also checked out the spa, because I was wondering if like the spa changed with the 1.5 update, but nothing really seems out of place or new. I remembered there was some weird quests with void mayonnaise, so not that I remember what quest it was at this point, but I took the void egg I got from Krobus and I placed it in for some void mayonnaise. Barney came knocking at my door on day 75, wanting a cave carrot. Okay. And my pumpkins were all done, and my pumpkin wine was all done, so I'm gonna be getting a lot of money today. I finally had enough resources and money to buy myself my first shed. And I found myself a cave carrot at the traveling cart sales lady. Thank you. I plopped the carrot down in front of Marnie. You're welcome. I also gave Caroline the pumpkin that she requested. How is she gonna carry this back home? I don't know. It's not my problem. Have a good day, Caroline. I encounter a brand new cutscene for Shane on day 76. Marnie is a little bit concerned about Shane because he's having a really good time at the saloon. He should be fine, right? I went back home to check up on Shane, and he seems fine. The rest of the day was spent in the mines working towards our Monster Slayer goals. And hey, overnight, Cassandra came back to visit us. I don't think I've ever had 2 fairies in one playthrough, in 1 year even. That is so cool. Cassandra, I love you. I spent the first half of day 77 organizing my new shed with all my kegs, and I found this really cool white turban and a ton of resources. It was a really good day in the mine. I got another new cutscene with Shane, and it seems like it's a part 2 of the first one, where I ask him if he's drinking. He gets offended and storms off, which honestly, I don't blame him. It took me 78 days to realize I never bought and built a silo, so yep, we fixed that today. After that, I paid a visit to the special community board and I picked up Gunther's quest. And then I found myself in Cindersap Forest, cutting down the entire forest again. Seriously, how do these trees grow back so fast? It's impressive. Magic even. Where's the wizard? I grabbed the last bit of wine this morning and I grabbed all my cakes and brought them into the shed. I need a lot more resources and especially wood, but I want to make some more cakes and fill up this entire shed. I had a plan, y'all. I made 3 crystallariums, and the purpose of all these crystallariums were for the traders. I was like, listen, I want some stairs, I want some free bombs, and I want some spicy eels. I took my sword and I went up to the mines to slay some skeletons, because for Gunther's quest, I needed a lot of bones. And I mean a lot of bones. We were gonna go on a heist today on day 80, because what? Our beats are done. But before I get to go on my heist, I run into Shane, who, well, he's just drinking cola and playing video games at the saloon. We are all overreacting, but we did it because we love you. I love you, Shane. Also, I'm sorry, Shane. I had a lot of money, so I bought a crap ton of coffee, and I mean a lot of coffee, because I think most of the town likes coffee, other than the 2 kids. So that was my master plan of trying to befriend people. Everyone likes coffee, right? Well, if you don't, you're just a monster, I guess. Then I was ready for the heist, and I quickly broke into Mary Lewis's house, and I shoved a lot of beets in his fridge. Then I brought a solar essence to the desert where the dragon skeleton lies. I raced on home, and I grabbed the club membership, which was eerily in my woodpile. Maybe I should look into buying security cameras. I had enough bone fragments to hand in to Gunther to complete his quest. We got a little bit of money from this, but I wonder if I'm gonna get an item that's attached to this. I went back home and grabbed all my geodes and had Clint open all of them, which I had a lot because I haven't opened up geodes in a long time. And then I handed in a lot of different artifacts to Gunther. I spent the rest of the day handing out cups of coffee to everybody. Well, not the kids, but I mean, they should like it. I don't know why they don't like it. Day 82 was very short. Gunther sent me the bone mill, which, okay. Thank you, I think. I spent the rest of the day working on Monster Slayer goals. It was the morning of Spirit's Eve, and all of my pumpkins were ready to be harvested. This is gonna be my last time being able to harvest all of my pumpkins. They served me so well though. I stored all of my extra pumpkins for wine. I got this cute little piece of dialogue from Shane, and I just had to include it because I love how self-aware he is when he makes this joke. And then, Spirit's Eve. I was walking through a wall. But yeah, it was a cute little maze. I bought everything that I could as well, and I went on home. It was the last day in fall, and Shane was being like the best husband ever. And also talking about just being juicy, squishy flesh. Okay, love you. I got the sweetest message that Snowball loves me. Thank you for loving me when I could not love myself. Thank you for always being there for me when I isolated myself from everyone. I am here today, and I am who I am because of you. Thank you so much. I don't want to get too sappy, but she was just a really, really big part of my life. So thank you all for allowing me to share that part of me. And now back to the playthrough. All of my pumpkins were done, and I wanted to replace them with starfruit. I made the long trip over to Sandy, and I bought all the starfruit I needed, and then planting as many as I could. I was trying to sleep when I was really woken up by the witch. She was cackling and, wait, aren't you like the wizard's ex-wife or something? Get back here! I have so many questions for you. It was the first of winter, and I found a void egg in my chicken coop. Thank you, witch, I think. I exited my farm and I saw Krobus, but like smaller Krobus? I don't know. I'm not sure who that is. I chased the footprints all the way up to this bush over here, and it gave me a magnifying glass. And it granted me the ability to find secret notes. And as I went around town trying to collect the winter forageables, I found a random secret note in a artifact spot. The secret note led me back to the community center where I found a statue. That's pretty cool. I wonder what other items I can get from these secret notes. I found a Nautilus shell on day 86. This was the last item I needed to complete the community center. I completed the field research bundle with the Nautilus shell, and I went over to the winter forageable bundle and we completed that one as well. And we did it! The community center is restored. I spent a lot of time waiting around afterwards being like, hey guys, what's happening? Is this not working? Hello? Where's the cutscene? You have to wait until tomorrow. Yeah, who would have known? It might have taken us 87 days, but we did it. We completed the community center. I also received this really cool trophy, and oh my yoba, Pierre and Morris get into it, and Pierre uppercuts Morris like, yas, get out of here. See ya. Morris is blasting off again. It must have been a full moon out because Krobus and the dwarf were about to fight as well. What is with fighting today? But the wizard came to save the day. On day 88, I remembered Willie mentioned that after I complete the community center, I should go visit his shop. I found him in the back with a ran down boat. Yep, totally didn't think it was something else back here. Nope. And I had everything I needed. The 200 hardwood, the 5 batteries, and the 5 iridium bars. I handed in all of my items and I had to wait one more day for the boats to be repaired. It was day 89 and me and Willie set off to Ginger Island, where I promptly scared someone. Oh boy. I found my very first golden walnut, which I had no idea what these were for, and I found the shy boy in the shack. It was suggested to me that the parrots are the key to making him less shy. It seems like I need golden walnuts to progress through this island, but I can actually enter the new mine, a volcano mine. Yep, this is totally safe. On my first day here, I figured out that you can make pathways with your watering can, and that mobs and ore places can actually drop golden walnuts. I only got to level 4 though before I had to go back home. And on day 90, I rushed back to Ginger Island. I went straight to the mines and I actually got all the way through until level 10, which seems to be the final level. A part of me was relieved that this mine was short, but at the same time, I was kind of hoping it would be a little bit longer too. I found this really cool thing called the forge at the very tippy top, where I guess you can enhance your tools, your weapons, and combine your rings. It was really late at night, but I had just enough golden walnuts to get the turtle to move for me. There was this rundown area that looks almost like a farm, and then I found this lady where she is guarding her husband's remains and then gives me a war memento. Yeah, Well, it was nice to meet you. I'm gonna go. I guess Pierre is gonna be selling new seeds for the new year. Oh, that's cool. I did some farm chores and collected my pumpkin juice before heading back over to Ginger Island. I fished up some golden walnuts. I chased a worm around for a long time not knowing what to do. And I started to realize that golden walnuts were everywhere and that, oof, it's gonna take a lot of work to try to figure out where they all are. Day 92 was such a short but fun day because it was the ice fishing festival. Oh, and I crushed my competition. Take that, Pam. I got first. And that was pretty much it. It took up my entire day. Although it was a nice change of pace still. My remaining pumpkins were done in my greenhouse and I replaced them with starfruit. I'm not sure why I kept those flowers in there. I was hoping I would get honey, but I just never got honey. I processed all of my treasure troves and geos to Clint. Then I paid a visit to Gunther. I handed in what I could and there I was, back in the jungle, exploring and finding all the golden walnuts I could. I don't know, I just really like exploring this new area. There's so many things to find and discover. If I could sum up day 94 in one word, it would be fiber. And with all of our new fiber, I made some tea saplings. We reached 1 million gold on day 95. We did it! And I was so excited, I went right back to bed. Yep, I don't have to work anymore because I'm a millionaire. Okay, maybe 1 million gold isn't that much. I somehow got wrapped up in the wizards and the witches drama too. Like, oh, I have to go get your magical ink? That's crazy. Why can't you do it? Whatever, I'll do it. I bought 999 wood from Robin, and I found the talisman that Krobus lost. And I handed in the void mayo so I can get the magical ink. And hey, I can make a lot of buildings now, like a Junimo hut. And I need a lot of starfruit. I'm really happy I'm starting to plant that. On day 97, my sweet berry was finally ready. With this in my hand, I took this over to the secret woods and grabbed myself another starfruit. Over at the special requests board, I picked up a curious substance for the wizard. What kind of substance? And I head on back to Ginger Island, where I found 1 golden walnut on the beach. I figured out the worm thing, the watering can, and a few more like this one hidden behind a tree. I spent the rest of the evening trying to complete the wizard's quest, and I actually found it! Our beautiful starfruit is ready on day 98. I'm gonna use some of this for Junimo huts. I was testing out the seed maker and I actually got my hands on an ancient seed. I haven't found an ancient seed this whole entire playthrough. So I head back into my greenhouse and I plant my first ancient seed. Down at the wizard's place, I hand in the mysterious substance and another quest item he asked me in the mail, before shooing me away. But he couldn't get rid of me that easily because I got what he needed for the Junimo hut and I went back to bother him. I also moved around my greenhouse, my silo, my barn, and my coop. I was being such a busy bee today because I went up to Robin and I also asked her to upgrade my house again. And I spent entirely too long on my new crop area for spring. I really could not figure out what I wanted to do with this area. It was a chilly day on day 99, but the wizard sent me the mini obelisk, which warmed me up because that's sweet after he shooed me away. And starting tomorrow, the night market opens up. I brought my bomb to the Skull Cavern and I dove as deep as I can go. And considering we had a really lucky day, I actually had pretty bad luck. Although, I did score this really cool blue cowboy hat, which I promptly put on my head. I look pretty stylish, don't you think? And we reached level 10 combat, and I went with Brute. Day 100, Emily came over and offered her sewing machine skills. I picked up Lannis's community cleanup challenge, and I went back to my farm to fish in my pond, catching as much junk as possible. And I went to the dumpster to complete Lannis's quest. I bought a new hat for my horse, a cute little Santa hat. Oh, it looks so cute. And it was time for the night market, where I found myself an ancient seed. Yeah, they were just selling an ancient seed just because. There is a lot of shopkeepers around here, and also this mermaid show. I remembered I found a secret note that had something to do with the mermaid show, and I copied whatever was on the note, and I got a pearl. I finished off the night doing some deep sea fishing, catching things like a spookfish, before heading home for our final 100-day sleep. So how did I do? Foraging did not get to level 10, but we got close. I was pretty happy with all of my progress with relationships though, because I didn't originally have a plan to max these out on the first year, but I got pretty far. And I did reach 1 million golds. If you have made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. This video took me an extremely long time to make. There were definitely points where I just wanted to delete the project because I figured it just won't be good enough. Thank you all so much for the support over on Twitch, my Discord community, through social media, and DMs. If you'd like to see year 2, comment in the video and let me know what your favorite part was and that you would like me to do a year 2.